The 2025 Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to be honest, Colts fans, I'm just going to get this out of the way straight away. I do not think you have a good football team in Indianapolis, which does suck because I do like your coach. I do like your general manager. Just something's off there, and I think we all know a position the Colts mightily struggle at. They have talent on this roster, but the most important position, they're well below average. And you look at other spots in the offense, it's below average as well when you look at the offensive line. There are a lot of issues with this Colts team that I just don't see getting fixed over the course of one season. But I'm still here to talk about the future of the Colts mainly in this, to give some positivity to Colts fans. Even though I am low on them, there is a chance I could just be flat out wrong. And that's okay if I'm wrong or not. But I will say I'm going to give my honest opinion of the Indianapolis Colts, so let's get into it. Up first, when talking about the Colts, I think it's important to highlight the two major guys they lost in Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, both ironically going to the Minnesota Vikings. Ryan Kelly, I get it. He had a lot of injury issues. It was time to move off him. Losing Will Fries does suck a lot because he is a very good run blocker. He can help open up running lanes, and when your entire offense seems to be Jonathan Taylor in hopes and dreams, that's a big loss. They did lose Dio as well, going to Chicago Bears. They brought in Cameron Bynum, who's a fine, solid safety, and Charcavius Ward. Again, a really good cornerback. I'd actually say I really like him as a cornerback. He is 30 years old, so you don't know when regression starts to slip in, but he is a very talented cornerback at the end of the day. A positive, I want to really talk about the draft picks. And the first pick, I think it's hard not to love, Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren is a freak of all freaks. I watched him play for Penn State during the course of the season last year, and I was always blown away with his athleticism, with how great of a receiver he is, how bad of a matchup he is for other defenders. Then I went and watched his film during the draft process, and I kept on thinking, man, he may not be the first tight end taken, and he wasn't. I have a hard time arguing he shouldn't be because this dude has all the potential to be a top 1 tight end in the NFL. Now, I know a lot of people are going to point out he's not the best blocker. He is really raw at it. But here's the thing. I don't care if he's the best blocker or not. You know who's not a real good blocker at the tight end position? Travis Kelce. Does anyone complain about Travis Kelce on the field? No. Travis Kelce is a monster in the receiving game, and that's Tyler Warren's potential, is to be that monster in the receiving game. The Colts have a lot of big-bodied wide receivers, and now they add a big-body tight end, which is very important when you look at their quarterback room, which I haven't discussed yet, and I'm going to save a little later on. But you look at this Colts team, Tyler Warren is a great pick because he was probably the best player on the board. Take that pick 10 times out of 10. JT Tuimoloau was their second-round pick. Loved him. I don't know how much of a pass rusher he can be. I think he's got some solid pass rushing ability, but as a run defender, this dude clogs up the lanes and you cannot run on him. And that was a big key to Ohio State last year, is their pass rushing unit maybe wasn't the elite of some other FBS teams, but their run defense was so good they made you have to take that entire game plan out of the play completely. And that's what the Colts can do right now. When you look at the division they're in, they're going to be in a very run-heavy division. It's just the way these teams are built in the AFC South. So you look at that, and you look at a guy who can instantly come in, help improve your rush defense. That's a very solid second-round pick. Now, other guy I would like to mention is Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard is not someone I was too big of a fan of. In fact, I did not even have a quarterback grade on him. I had a tight end grade on him because I think he's uber athletic and has a big enough body he can play the tight end position. I do not think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. I do not think he's a backup quarterback in the NFL. But as a tight end, I'm very intrigued by his traits. This is the part I usually talk about strengths and weaknesses, but I wanted to save this for a certain aspect of the Colts team. That'd be the quarterback battle that's going to happen between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Colts fans, I know that does not sound too appeasing, but it's where you're at, and it's why I'm not high on the Colts at all. I'm a Florida Gators fan. I love Anthony Richardson, but I'm willing to admit he has not done well in the NFL. He's had injury issues, which were a thing in Florida. He had issues staying healthy. And you also have to look at the fact he has not developed as a passer, and that's a big key for why the Colts are where they are. He has not developed, and you spent a top 5 pick on him. That's not good. And Shane Steichen was supposed to be this guy that's brought in, that can revolutionize him, that can really help him reach his full potential like he did with Jalen Hurts. But now you look at the guy they bring in, Daniel Jones, and ironically, I don't know if there's two more different quarterbacks than Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones' strength is the intermediate passing game, and he has some mobility, but that's really going away with all the injuries he suffered. He's less likely to run now, but he's not as inaccurate as Anthony Richardson is on the short intermediate plays or the medium passing plays. But that being said, what Anthony Richardson has over him, though, is the deep ball. Daniel Jones does not have a good deep ball. It is not a well-thrown ball. It is not a strong ball. Anthony Richardson, you don't know if it's going to hit the guy, but it's going to be a strongly thrown football that's going to get downfield. Whether it's accurate is to be determined. So I'm here stuck in who do I think wins the quarterback battle? I would say I believe Anthony Richardson starts out as a starter, but as the season progresses, I think we see a switch when the Colts struggle, which is a real shame because the Colts have a lot of good receiving talent. Their issues at quarterback are just so bad, I can't help but think this team is going to be a dreadful watch during the season. I love Josh Downs. I'm a big Alec Pierce guy. A.D. Mitchell, I had a stupid high grade on him in last year's draft class. I love the Colts receivers. Tyler Warren, I think, is a stupid athletic tight end that's going to be a phenomenal player in the NFL. But again, I don't trust the quarterback to get them the football. Then you look at the running back room. Jonathan Taylor is Jonathan Taylor, one of the best backs in the league. How are teams going to handle him? Well, they're going to load the box because there's no threat with the quarterbacks the Colts have. They're in such a tough situation that it's hard for me to envision them having a good roster because teams can just counter them galore. And then we look at their defense, and their defense, I'm just not a fan of it either. Their edge rushers, I don't think apply enough pressure. Their corners are just not there. They signed Ward. Yes, Ward is one guy, and he's over the age of 30, and he was playing with the San Francisco 49ers who get constant pressure on teams. I don't think this Colts team is going to be good on either side of the football, but I think the offense being so bad is going to make the defense look so much worse than it actually probably is. I expect the Colts to be picking very high in next year's draft class, and I think we'll see a new head coach in the 2026 season. And it's unfair, I think, because Shane Steichen was not dealt a great hand. With who the Colts were going to draft, it was always Anthony Richardson. I don't care what people say. And that maybe didn't put Shane Steichen in the best limelight. I think Steichen will get another chance as the head coach, but I do not think it's going to be with the Colts in 2026. But now, if you want me to talk about positives, here's the best positive I can tell Colts fans. You know when you had that first overall pick many decades ago? We're approaching, this pick was 3 decades ago. What was that guy's last name? Manning. Hey, who's down in Texas playing quarterback? Manning. Arch Manning. Now, I'm not saying it's going to guarantee to work out like this, but you have to look at that with a little bit of hope, Colts fans, because this quarterback class is supposed to be really good. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys do not want Lenore Sellers after the Anthony Richardson experience, but I'm sure every single one of you would be doing a backflip if the Indianapolis Colts were in the position to select Arch Manning. Now for me to talk about where I think they'll finish in the division. If you can't tell, I have them finishing last place. I do not think this roster is good. I think they are going to be a dreadful watch, as I've said throughout this video, and I just don't really have any optimism for this season. I think the optimism comes in 2026 when you have the quarterback to build around, which I think the Colts will have a good shot at drafting. And they are in a worse spot than the other 3 teams in the division because they all have their quarterbacks. Say what you want about Trevor Lawrence. He's far better than what the Colts have. Say what you want about Cam Ward. He's far better than what the Colts have. Say what you want about CJ Stroud. He's a million miles better than with what the Colts have. And that's where I'm at with the Colts right now, is that they just need to get that quarterback for me to have some hope and optimism in them again. Thank you much for watching this video. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And I'm sorry, Colts fans, if this was a little negative. You want to hear me talk about some division rivals in which I grill them a bit as well. Check out the Houston Texans video. That was uploaded yesterday. I have a Jacksonville Jaguars video that's going up tomorrow. This is 32 in 32 days. I'm previewing every single NFL team in 32 days. I hope you all enjoy the content. I hope you all check out other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.